Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day to day lives. Let's start with the video. I believe that the fact that I got engaged to my fiancé should be evidence enough that I felt some sort of connection with her. I mean, of course, that's not the case with every relationship, but that was for me and my girlfriend, Anna. We met in college at an art exhibition. We hit it off instantly and started off as best friends. Our friendship was built on the fact that we had a lot of trauma to unpack in regard to our family. Anna had the typical super rich family that barely gave her the attention she deserved as a kid and tried to show their love through money and materialism. This was very normal in her household and even preferred, but when Anna was born in the household as the youngest, she realized she wasn't like her siblings. Her love language was quality time, words of affirmation, and physical touch, none of which her very busy and ambitious family could give her. So she became broken inside and got involved in a lot of unhealthy lifestyle habits to get the attention of her parents all throughout. It was only when she entered college that she sort of went low contact with her parents and decided to turn her life around. My story, on the other hand, was somewhat the same. My parents were never home, and on top of that, I was made to do all the household chores, take care of my siblings, and just everything else that a parent is supposed to do. I was basically a victim of parentification, to put it short, and well, it ended up making me develop so much resentment towards my parents that I completely cut them off as I got into college. By that point, I had also become a person who was extremely caring and gentle and almost took a nurturing role in every relationship I got into due to the way I had grown up. I was and am the partner that would make constant adjustments. You guys can imagine where this is going. You're right if you've started to think from that angle. As soon as I met Anna, we immediately bonded and created this dynamic where I was the one making adjustments, being understanding, being there for her, and everything in between, while Anna sort of unleashed her inner child around me. She became very sensitive, but at the same time carefree because she figured I'd be there to catch her if she ever fell. Now that everything went down, I feel like she took full advantage of that situation, knowingly or unknowingly. Our vulnerabilities just created this dynamic between the two of us that no amount of talking would fix. I'd try, and after the talking went down, we just immediately slipped back into our old ways. This time would have been the same, but I'm really not sure what happened to me. Something clicked, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. I'm sort of glad because if it's meant to be over, at least it's before the wedding, but well, let me get to the actual situation now. It started when I proposed to Anna. She said yes and told me she wanted to hold a party to announce our wedding. I was happy to see her so excited, so I let her do her thing. She'd tell me her plans here and there, but it was never anything in deep detail. I didn't want to ask too many questions because I wanted this party to be her thing. From what I could figure out, I knew it was a big deal for her and an elaborate, lavish affair at that, but there was something inside me that just sort of figured that she knew to not go too overboard, because I had warned her against it. Even her reaction looked like she agreed and understood. So, with the belief that I had nothing to worry about, I just got ready on the day of the party and drove to the restaurant. Anna had held the party, and that is when it all started falling apart. Firstly, I found myself at a restaurant which wasn't anywhere close to our budget. A single meal there cost 3 times more than I anticipated. Secondly, the fact that none of our real friends or family members, which were really close to, were invited. The fact that only her immediate family, her ex-friends, even some of her exes and some of my not so close friends were invited was just more of a shocker. That's not all, though. The awkwardness due to the fact that no one was interested and no one knew each other just ruined things more for me. It was like I just started questioning the relationship at an event where I was present to celebrate it. I knew this was a red flag. Then the real thing happened. Something I wasn't expecting, but at the same time wasn't surprised by. The bill for the dinner came, and Anna, very awkwardly, realizing how much she had messed up, slid it to me. Seriously? Is all I asked her. She nodded awkwardly. I took a deep breath and opened the bill, and I'd be lying if I said my heart didn't skip a beat. The bill was huge. If I would have ended up paying it all by myself, it would have taken up more than half of the chunk of the money I saved for the wedding that obviously wasn't going to happen anymore. I immediately threw my hands up, telling her that I wasn't going to pay the bill all by myself. Anna flew off the handle and threw a huge fit. Things got worse because her parents got involved, calling me a horrible partner. It was a huge scene. We were made to pay the bill and got kicked out of the restaurant, and of course, I was the one paying for the majority of it. I ended up driving off as soon as I left the hotel. I didn't return home. I went to live with a friend. Currently, everyone, including Anna, her friends, and her family, are shaming me because I'm in the wrong for not being a man enough to fulfill Anna's wishes. Even my own parents say I should go back to the apartment and drop the idea of suing her for the bills because she's too stressed with the wedding planning. Now, I don't even know what to do. Any advice? Anna's friend reached out to me today telling me that she wanted to talk. I ignored her initially because I thought she was going to try to give me shit for not being good enough for Anna, just like the rest of her friends. Surprisingly enough, though, after spamming me for a while, she sent me a text assuring me that she wasn't trying to mess with me or anything. She told me she wanted to talk for a genuine reason, and if I was interested in saving myself or my relationship, I could call her. I did, and then we ended up meeting at this local restaurant, grabbed a few bites to eat, and got to talking. Now, Evita is Anna's childhood friend, so I know she probably knows more about Anna than I ever will because she's quite literally seen her grow up in real time. So when she spoke with confidence, I was convinced that she wasn't really lying. She went on to talk about how Anna had a history of lying to a lot of her partners because of her traumatic childhood. She had a tendency to make things seem better than they looked. But when she met me, she changed because she told me most of the things they were, such as her childhood and the lack of love, attention she received. Sounds good, right? Here's the messed up part, though. It is the fact that she completely lied about her family's financial background and much of hers too. She doesn't get paid as much as she revealed, and her family definitely isn't as rich as she made it out to seem. It all made complete sense because before this encounter, Anna took me to her parents' place, always telling me that they were never home to meet me. I was speechless as Evita revealed all of this to me. She told me she only ever found out through all the ranting I did at the hotel. She was as shocked and dumbfounded as I was initially. But as she recalled Anna's relationships one after the other, it made complete sense to her. She tried comforting Anna about it, but she received no response. That is when I realized I needed to talk to her. I need answers. Was our relationship a lie? Was she a lie? What's going on? I have absolutely no idea, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to let you guys know either, at least for now. I'm not sure if I should count this as a happy update or not. I think I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I met Anna today at a public place, and I could immediately see by the look on her face that she had been crying. I'd be lying if I said I didn't look that way either, but well, with awkwardness filled between us, we began talking. I told Anna to be honest with me because I had found out about everything. I told her that if she wanted me to even consider giving her another chance as a partner, she needed to show that she deserves the opportunity by being upfront and honest. The look on her face immediately displayed panic, fear, and guilt. She tried to first play it off dumb, telling me she had no idea what I was talking about and other bull crap. I once again reminded her to be honest or to get ready to forget me. Tears broke down, and she confessed to me that she never wanted to lie to me, but it had become so much of a habit for her that she just couldn't keep herself off of it. That's all she ever told me, probably thinking to herself that I was going to immediately wrap her into my arms and tell her not to cry. I obviously didn't do that, and that got her angry. It was at that moment that I realized I was doing it all wrong. I told her that I really wish she got the help she very much needed because watching the way she was switching from angry to sad, from blaming me to everything to blaming herself, I was getting quite scared. I just left the place and drove off to my friend's place. I'm planning to go talk to my landlord tomorrow regarding breaking off the lease ASAP. I'll be keeping my things in storage place for now and working on finding a new apartment. Things, as you guys can see, are starting to get busy, so I'll update this post after a while. I would like to start this post off by saying thanks to each one of you for helping me stay sane and make me understand that my decision was indeed an understandable one while everyone around me was pressuring me to do something I didn't want. Well, with the gathered up courage, I ended up separating from Anna and getting my own apartment. No, I didn't end up suing her for the bill because I know I myself already have so much on my plate that dealing with the court isn't something I want at this point. Anna has moved in with her parents because she cannot afford to live in this city by herself. Well, although I feel bad for her and everything that happened, I guess something like this was bound to happen in this relationship. At the end of the day, all I can wish for is well-being for her and myself. NTA. Yikes. Anna is a pathological liar. I don't know if I should feel bad for her or not. I hope she gets the help that is much needed for her. Good on you for not getting stuck for years of misery and lies. NTA. So, this was playing on my mind, and given that I decided to seek the opinion of others, my fiance and I met 5 years ago, and he proposed to me 6 months ago. His family were really excited for us and brought up wanting to throw an engagement party. It got delayed due to reasons, but a date was set eventually for November 1st. Back in July, I found out that despite my asking them not to, my fiance's mom and siblings had reached out to my half siblings to invite them to the party. They were attempting to hide it, so for me, I believe they realized it was wrong. Though when confronted, they said they wanted to surprise me with them. For those who might ask why I didn't want them there and why I would not see that as something sweet, I was an affair baby. I share a father with my half siblings. Their mother was very unaware of what was going on until my mother showed up at their doorstep and said she didn't want me. And then everything fell down around the family. My father ended up divorced, his 4 other kids never forgave him, and he had nobody else to offer me. When I was 8 years old, he died very suddenly, and I was put in foster care with a social worker who provided far too much detail for me as a kid. Like how my half-sibling's mom had been named by my father as a guardian for me, but she didn't want me. How she and my half-siblings had not wanted a sibling relationship maintained. Also mentioned how my mother had been from a family of criminals and addicts, and that she was the best of the family but could not be found. So I spent 3 years with her as my social worker. Then she got fired. I did reach out to my half siblings a few years ago. Some contact was made, but I could tell they would never consider me their sister, and I would never be one of them or a true part of their family. And that hurt too much. They weren't bad people. They were fine, but when I brought up maybe it was better if I didn't stay in contact, they enthusiastically told me they hadn't felt any kind of care for me either, and they'd thought it was for the best. So I left that part of my life behind. I do not want it dug back up. My fiance's family know this. My fiance told them since they had gone behind our backs, we would not be going to the engagement party. He also told them it was bad enough for them not to be invited to our wedding. A week later, his mom reached out and offered a very sincere apology with a promise of them never doing it again and changing the date if it would make me happier to attend. But she really wanted it to be water under the bridge. I told her I didn't feel like I could trust them not to go behind my back again. She told me she understood, but another few days later she told me it wasn't fair to hold this over them forever and to reject a sincere apology the way I had by not showing still. The rest of my fiance's family thinks I'm ridiculous. AITA? Holy shit. NTA. I am so sorry, OP. I cannot imagine having to process all of that as a child and young adult and then have your in-laws go behind your back and violate a very simple boundary. Nope. NTA, people with healthy, happy families often struggle to understand that not every family is like theirs. It's good that you have your partner supporting you. It's really up to you and your partner to decide if this is a hill to die on. I can totally understand why you would feel it is. I come from a not so healthy family, and you have to put boundaries in place. Do you think you will be able to forgive and move on with time? I'm a uni student working in retail. In New Zealand, it's a long weekend this weekend, and when you work on public holidays, you get paid time and a half. Since the PH landed on my fixed shift, so the shift I do every time without fail, I would be working on the PH and get paid time and a half. Last night, my coworker messaged me asking for the shift. I said, no, sorry, I'm working it. She asked again, saying she really needs it, and I told her again, no, sorry. I can and will be working the shift, and I also need the hours. She said that she really needs the money for her kids, and I told her again that I need the money too, and that maybe some other shifts will open up later in the week. She told me no, she needs this one because it's time and a half and needs stuff for her kids, and that I wouldn't understand as I don't have kids. This really pissed me off. I told her that just because I don't have kids doesn't mean I don't need the money. She said I'm being an inconsiderate brat to a single mother and I live at home for free and my parents pay for everything, and that she's seen me live my life on Insta and I waste money. I told her that I do not have to justify myself, but her having children was nothing to do with me. I pay for my shit and contribute to my household, and my parents don't pay for any of my stuff. Also, yes, I don't have kids, so I have the extra money that I can spend however I like because it's my money, and that maybe she should be more responsible with her money because I've also seen her Insta stories of her going out and drinking. She called me an inconsiderate, spoiled little bitch and said I'm going to hell for disrespecting a mother like that. I screenshot the message and sent it to our work GC to show everyone what she said, and now my work team is split. 3 of my coworkers said the way she spoke to me was disgusting and disrespectful and that I don't owe her shit. But the other 3 say I was a bitch for the way I spoke to her and could have said it nicely. And I'm also an a-hole for sending it to the GC and embarrassing her. My manager isn't in this GC. It's one we have separate from the main chat, so she doesn't know what happened. Now, this coworker has non-stop been messaging me, calling me an a-hole for embarrassing her, and that if I don't apologize and give her the shift, she'll tell our manager. At first, I told her to tell our manager as I did nothing wrong, but now I'm kind of concerned and think maybe I was an a-hole. So AITA? I've sent the screenshots and an explanation to my manager. It's Sunday morning here, so I don't know when she'll see it. My manager saw my messages and said I should have muted my coworker's messages after the first note, and that she will speak to her on Tuesday about her language towards me as she's off for the long weekend. So nothing will happen till Tuesday. NTA, why do some people who have kids believe those who don't should just give up things for them? It's your shift, and you have every right to not give it away. ESH, your coworker harassing you about a shift you normally work was a complete AH move. You have every right to deny to switch shifts for any reason. She should have just accepted your answer and tried asking someone else or looked for a second job if she's so low on cash. You would not have been an AH for taking that to your manager. Even if the manager initially told her to try to switch shifts with you, I'm sure they didn't mean to attack you unprofessionally. You, though, became the AH when you shared this in a GC. This was not a professional move, and if she does go to your manager, you'll likely both get in trouble now. Just because she was being an AH to you didn't mean you needed to sink to her level. Should have just let your manager sort her out.